multi-view drawing from an example that we've used in class, just so you can use this later on whenever you need to make a multi-view drawing. So the first step is, besides Open Inventor, we're going to go to New and we're going to start a drawing file. So we're going to go with the standard one here. You can use either one. They both work, but I just like that one. So we hit Create and we have our blank drawing paper. So the first step is to import the part. And to do that, we go with Base. That's the first one to make our new drawing. So we're going to look here. If this is in the file we want, or there's nothing selected, you need to go to the folder icon here, click on that, and find whatever file you were looking at. So we're going to be going with that one. Now from here, make sure this is the best front view that you have. It might be different depending on how you built the part and what plane you started on. For our case too, also we can change the scale here. It is a drop down. If these pre-selected ones, if you wanted a custom one, you can type that in. If you need it smaller because the part was bigger, 1/4, 1/2. If you want it bigger, this is going to make it bigger. If it's a smaller one, so for our case here, I'm going to use a 2:1. Now remember, we've got a total of 4 views, so we want to make sure we have room to fit all 4 of them there. We can go back and change them if need be. So it's not, if you get it wrong, you're stuck with it. So again, here, once we've got it all, we'll click OK. So we've got our first view. Now we need to add the other ones. So to do that, we come over here to the projected, click on that, and then we want to click on our original view. So it's going to pop up now. As we move it around, you can see the different views of the different sides of our part. So for the multi-view drawing, we want the top, front, and right side along with the isometric one. So we already have the front. So to get the top, we're going to go straight up, and that's going to make the top. And then we click. We get a green box that we know it was placed. Then we're going to take it and go to the right. Click again. Again, we've got a green box there that we know it's clicked. And then we're going to come up here with an isometric view and fit that in there and click. So once you have all the other views that you need, you're going to right click and hit create for them to actually draw it. So for our case on the isometric view, this is just kind of to show how they all kind of piece together, what this part looks like. It's just for show. So you're not going to dimension it or do anything to it. The only thing we are going to do though is give it the color or the shading. So to do so, you want to kind of move your mouse close to it to where you see that red rectangle around it. That's the whole part. And then all you got to do is double click and it brings up our drawing menu or the drawing view menu. And right here at this icon is the shaded one. So we're going to click on that, click OK. That's going to give it the color. If your part was a different color or a different material that you in the part file, it's going to show up here. So before we start dimensioning though, I do want to add our center lines and our center marks because we have a circular hole here and all those circles or curves will get a center mark or a center line. So for everything else in art, we're going to go to the annotate tab up at the top, and this is going to give us everything we need now here to add to our multi-view drawing for dimensions. So the first step again, we're going to add our center marks. So right here is the center mark. We just click on that icon and then we go to the edge of the circle, click there, and it will do that for us. For the next one, the center line, I'm going to use the center line bisector, which is this one diagonally up from it. So we click that. Now all we have to do is click the 2 lines, and in case it's the hidden lines, and it will draw a nice center line for us here. We're going to do the same thing for our right view because it also has that. Now this one doesn't show up as well. It is there. You can see it kind of overhanging here. But the one edge of our stair, this edge right here, it kind of is at the same spot where the center line would be. So it kind of overlaps. And again, object lines go first. So that's what we're going to see. So now we have that. Now it's dimension. So we're going to start with our features. So in this case, we have a hole as one of our features, and we have these steps as another one. So each one needs to have the size and the location for it. So for our hole, we're going to use just our general dimensioning tool. So we come here and click. Now, when you do dimension a circle, you want to make sure when you click on it, there is none of the snapping points, because it will automatically give you the diameter if you do it that way. If you have it on one of these snapping points, it's going to start measuring it from that point, which you can see at that center mark is not even on our circle. So it's not going to give us the appropriate measurements. So for here, make sure again, no snap points for the circle. We just click on it and we can move our mouse up and it will just follow us saying there's that 1 inch diameter, and we can just click to place it. This menu is going to pop up every time you put a dimension in. We don't need to do anything with it now. Everything's fine, and we just click OK. So we have the size. Now we need the location. So to do that, again, we've got dimensions, so that's already clicked for me. Everything wants to be based on the center of that circle. So for our location, we're going to click on the center, and then we're going to go to the left side, and then have our mouse, and we just bring it down and click. Again, click OK. So that tells us it's an inch away, so it's an inch in. And then we want to do something similar, except we go from the center to the bottom now, and we can kind of just drag that, or at least just move it over here, click and place. So that gives us our location, where from this bottom corner, it's 1 inch to the right and 1 inch up for our 1 inch diameter hole. Okay, so that we're good on that feature. The next one is the steps. All right, you can use the general dimension here, and like we said with the circle, if you want this whole line, make sure when you click it, it's just the red line, not that center point or the midpoint where it has a snap. Because again, if you go from there, it's going to measure from there, which is not what we want. That's the halfway point, not the whole line. But since we have a couple lines all going in the same direction, what we can use is the chain command. So this is able to give us all a bunch at once. So we're going to click on the chain, and then we're going to click on those 3 vertical lines. Okay. And then just like with our projected view, we're going to right click and hit continue. And it's going to give us all of them at once, which we can place all of them at once and just put over there. Okay. Now we want to do the same thing for the horizontal lines. So again, we're going to click on our chain command. Let's see. There we go. Okay. And again, right click, continue. Now, I don't want to put it up here because we're kind of crossing a lot of the dimension lines, which if we can avoid, we should avoid it. It's just less confusion. So I'm actually going to bring it down here and put it underneath our previous one, so we don't have as many of these dimensional lines that are crossing, just to make things a little simpler. So this right here, we've got the size of each of our steps, the vertical size, the horizontal size, and we do have it a location because it's kind of based from this corner here. We know it's an inch up, another inch up, and another inch up, and over here, inch to the left, inch to the left, 2 inches to the left. So we have all of those. We're good for our features. Now we need the general dimensions. So the length, the height, the width, and the depth of this actual block as a whole. So at this point, we only had one of our views are being dimensioned, and I will tell you one of these will get deleted. So I'm going to choose to eventually delete this one because we don't see the center line as well as in this one. But either one does work. So if we go through this, the height would be this line right here, which we can either do on the right side or the front side. But since I do kind of want to get rid of this one, I'm going to do it on the front side. So we're going to go again to our general dimension, and we're going to click on this line. Again, we don't want the snap points in the middle. Don't click it on it when it's here, click on it here. Worst case, if you want to click when the endpoints are there, on each endpoint, that works as well. So we're going to click on that line, and then we just kind of slide it over here, click and place. All right, the next ones are our width, which would be this line actually, which gives us this part. Now, that part doesn't have, it's got 3 separate lines because it's the 3 separate steps that are on different levels, so it's not continuous. So from here, we're just going to click either, you can click on the endpoints, or if you just click on these 2 lines here, it will give you that distance in between. And then we can just move that down and click. And then the last one is that depth, which would be this line right here. which matches up to either one of this side or this side. It doesn't make a difference. So again, we're going to click on that line, move that over, and click. And then we click OK. So at this point, we have our general dimensions, our height, our width, our depth. We have the dimensions of the size and location of each of our features. So we are pretty much done here. The last thing we need to do is, since this view doesn't have one dimension, we do not need that. So we are going to delete it. So we are going to make sure. So to do that, we're first going to get out of our dimension mode. So now we're in the plane mode. Now, similar to when we shaded this part, when we do that, we want to make sure we see that red rectangle around it. And then all we need to do is just right click it and delete. Let's ask if we want to delete it, click OK, and we're good. At this point, if you wanted to kind of move this down, over, make adjustments, that's fine. But you'll see here too, as you move this one, you can't really move because it's attached to there, but here you can move it. And they are kind of attached because they're top and front views. So the final step here to turn this in, or anyone you're going to turn in, I would definitely save it normally just in case you got to go back to it. But the way I would like it put in is if you go to File, Export, and then PDF. And then you'll be able to save it as a PDF. So you can save that and then upload it onto eCampus.